The Adventure of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Sirinthip Pengprasittipong. Chapter 15. Back from the Dead. But there was no joyfulness in the village that Saturday afternoon. The Harper and Aunt Polly's family were overcome with grief, and usual quiet possessed the village. The villagers talked little, but they sighed often. The Saturday holiday seemed a burden to the children. They were not interested in their sport and gradually gave them up. In the afternoon, Becky Thatcher found herself wandering about the deserted schoolyard and feeling very unhappy. But she saw nothing here to comfort her. Presently she stopped and said to herself, "It was just here. Oh, if he were to do it again, I wouldn't say that he was very smart. I wouldn't say that for that world. But he's gone now, and I'll never see him any more." This do made her burst into tears, and she walked slowly away. Then a group of boys and girls, Tom and Joe Pemes, came by and stood looking over the fence and talking in respectful tones of how Tom did so and so the last time they saw him and how Joyce did and that. When the Sunday school hour was finished the next morning, the class bell began to ring very slowly and slowly. Instead of ringing in the usual way, the villagers began to gather, staying a moment in the entrance of the class to converse in whispers about the sad event. None could remember when the little class had been so full before. There was finally a watching class, and then Aunt Polly entered with Sis and Mary, followed by the Harper family, all in deep back. The villager and the old minister as well rose respectfully and stood until the mourners were seated in front. The minister prayed and a moving song and sang. At the service process, the minister drew such picture of the charming ways and her promise of the recognize this picture felt such in remembering that he has only seen felt in the poor boys. The minister described some good deeds in the life of the deep past which showed their sweet, generous nature. The villagers became more and more moved as the sad tale went on till at last there was not a dying eye in whole class. Among the angels seated upstairs, there was a slight noise with nobody noise. A moment later the class door clicked. The minister raised his streaming eyes above his handkerchief and stood at his turn to stone gazing in the direction of the door. All turned round, rose to their feet and stared as if they could not believe their eyes while the this boy came marching up and middle of the class, Tom leading Joe neck and her class. They had been hidden upstairs, listening to their own funeral service. Aunt Polly, Mary and Harper drew themselves apart. They recovered covered them with kisses and pour, and Thanksgiving, while poor Huck stood ashamed and uncomfortable in his rag, not knowing what to do or where to hide from so many unfriendly eyes. He started to creep away, but Tom seized him and said, "Aunt Polly, it isn't fair. Somebody must be glad to see Huck." "And so they shall. I'm glad to see him, poor motherless boy." And the loving affection with Aunt Polly show upon him made him more uncomfortable than he was before. Suddenly the minister shouted at the top of his voice, "Praise God, from whom all blessings fall. Sing, and put your heart into it." And they did. While the grand old song shook the roof, Tom Sawyer, the pirates looked around upon the evening shielded about him, and confessed in his heart that this was the proudest moment of his life.